what makes Neptune Run Crew unique is it's people over pace. It's not.
Excuse me. Kemal, I can't pronounce that last name. I do apologize. I cannot translate what you're saying there. I'm sorry. Keojo, greetings from Raleigh, North Carolina. How are things going up there in the Carolinas? Primal? What movie is that? What do you mean by that? What movie is that? I'm not sure I'm following. What's up, Shakula? Oh, sorry, Primal. It's the instrumental score to one of the seasons of the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. This is from season 3 of Battlestar Galactica. Greatest science fiction show almost ever, in my opinion. And some of the best music composed for a TV show ever. Or even movie. Like, the quality of the entire thing was astounding. But Shocula, man, that was an enjoyable stream. I was sitting there kind of racing on Grand Theft Auto Online, just kind of listening to you chat about your book and the whole process. That stuff I enjoy hearing, like how you went back and forth, how you tried this, you tried that, kind of how you collaborated with your artist. Yeah, this is fascinating stuff, man. I like that stuff a lot. I really need to get a streaming setup like you, man. That's definitely on my need-to-do list. And I was noticing, Shakula, on your channel, you've got 1,600-ish subscribers. Did I see that right?
This is a meal. Melty, cheesy. Like
Only from a long time ago. Say still. Something to build on, but you know, it does take some consistency, and I know that's easier said than done. Years ago from video games. Well, still. Oh, really? Someone from my channel? Well, hey, I love to hear that. If I can send any interest anybody's way, you know, if it's through the connection of the, I mean, sorry, I'm not trying to take credit for it, but you know what I mean. If somebody from my channel found you through my channel, if I had any part in making that connection, I love hearing that type of stuff. I just want to hear about people making books and moving copies, you know. So that's awesome to hear, man. Yeah, I mean, I think I know who that is. There's only one guy I know distinctively by the name Jeff. Um, actually, I haven't chatted him up in a minute, but I think I know who you're talking about. That's awesome. Yeah, there's some guys out there that are, kind of like us, old timers ish, old school fans that are not having much luck finding anything modern that interests us. So it's like, somebody just show me something new, something different. Like, I'm not asking for too much, but you're right. If I sell 10 copies, I feel like John Grisham. Alyssa Jones. Do I know Alyssa Jones? Shit, do I know Alyssa Jones? Fucking finger cuffs. I know you don't like Kevin Smith, Shocula. I do. I was glad to hear that he got the rights back to Dogma, which were locked up with wherever the fuck, with that Weinstein chucklehead, and he finally got the rights back. Because to me, Dogma is maybe the best movie Kevin Smith ever made. He had something to say, and I feel like he actually made a really good point, just kind of like a philosophical approach to his kind of inner thoughts on faith and blah, 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 that. And I like it, and they're actually going to be re-releasing it in theaters, at least in some limited capacity. Shocula, haven't you told me multiple times you fucking hate Kevin Smith? You like indie. All right, that I get. That I understand. My Leo. Come here, butt wipe. I need you to put your shoes on, get my keys, and go check the mail. Okay? Hey. Do you remember which numbers? 538. If you're looking at all the individual mailboxes, there's the right side and the left side. I think it's the third one in from the left. Number 538. It's box 11. Okay? 538, 11. Now, in there might be paper mail, but there might be a key that corresponds to one of the bigger boxes below that you have to put it in. Have you ever done that before? Well, there's a key, and it'll tell you on it. It's for box A, B, C, D, or E. Maybe it might, if it's small enough, it might be in the skinny mailbox. But if you pull out the mail and there's a key, look on the tag and it'll tell you which big box, the bigger ones down below. It could be on any of them. It doesn't necessarily mean it's in that one that we're in. It could be in any of them. They put it in the empty one they can find. You put the key in and turn it, and once you open it, it will lock the key in there. Like, it won't come out. You're supposed to leave it there. That's how they get it back. Because it's kind of a bigger package. Does that make sense? And I want you to go do that and bring whatever you find back to me. Sending my son to go do man's work, like check the mail. I'm actually just trying to take every opportunity I can to, like, send my boys out to go do stuff they're not used to doing on their own by themselves, make them start learning to problem solve the world a little bit, which is just mommy or daddy are not right there next to you all the time. So you gotta figure this shit out, my son. I don't want my boys to grow up to be soft, and they kind of are, but we're figuring it out. But yeah, you're like indie Kevin Smith. I get it. I know I'm not the same as you in as much as, even if I don't like some of the stuff Kevin Smith has said or done, I never felt like he's disingenuous. He just might not be making some smart decisions here or there. So I actually like him, even when he fucks up. Because that's all I can hope for people about me. Like, I'm gonna make some big fuck ups, but I hope people at least like me. Tell me which one you think it is. I'll tell you if you're right. Let me see. Turn it so I can see it flat. Oh, yes. Out of all the keys, that's to the house. I'm actually not sure if that's to. That might open up the tough shed outside. I'm actually not sure what that's to, honestly, anymore. But yes, you are correct. I wanted you to guess in case you were kind of on your own. You had to figure it out. Good job. Okay, anyway, where was I? Okay, hold on. No. No, you're fine. Would you take that and just set it on the counter? Okay. Thank you, Bubba. Got a letter from my bank about my fraud screw up thing, and they're like, well, this wasn't check fraud, so we're going to forward it on to somebody else, see if they can help you. Ultimately, it's going to be, no, they can't help me, but that's okay. It's what I get. I mean, they're not wrong. It wasn't check fraud. And like I said, if you listen to my video, I voluntarily walked into that bank and extracted my own cash for my own purposes, and it's not the bank's fault. Brickety? You actually sound familiar, sir. I do think I do remember you. Mark, what's up? I'm trying to keep it quiet right now, but I just got something in the mail that's a gift to my younger son. I want to look at it here real quick before I actually show it to him. I might bring him in here and, show him live on camera, but I'm going to show us first. My son loves boats. Let me crank this up so we can. We gotta have it straight and level. That is freaking awesome. My roommate found this on TikTok for it was like $10. And she's like, I know your son loves pirates and ships and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, order it. That is so fucking awesome. I might just have to keep it for myself. Fuck my son, this is mine. Look at it, it's an unsinkable pirate ship. He's gonna fucking love it. Oh. Right? All right, I might need to bring him in here and you guys can listen to. Andrew, come here. All right, everybody, the few of you that are here are gonna get to hear it. Hey, come here. I have a present for you. I have something that I saw that I think that you would love. Oh. Okay, hold on. Ready? So, it says, today we set sail, today we set sail and move on the unsinkable sailboat, a symbol of my friendship or love for you. Let me show you what this is.
I think I'm not sure what it's going to be.
What do you think it is? No, maybe cooler.
The Black Pearl!
But look at it. You create waves and it never sinks. What do you think of that?
Wait.
Look, it just sails back and forth.
POV when the Jack Sparrow ship is getting under attack by Davy Jones be like,
Yup. That's pretty neat. And you have to be careful with it because it's glass. And if you drop it, all that liquid in there will spill and make a mess and it'll never ever work again. So you just have to be careful with it. But look at that. Isn't that neat?
yes.
Your daddy kind of wanted to keep it for himself because daddy's a selfish jerk. But look, it's even got the skull and crossbones. It's a pirate ship. Shit. And we're also doing a live stream. Everyone got to listen to me give it to you. Yippee. Such a goofball. That's pretty awesome. All right, here. I'm going to give you the box. Fluid drift bottle. That's pretty awesome. All right, there you go, my son. I love you.
Love you, Dad.
He felt like, I better tell my daddy I love him back. Right, Mark? You wish I could still have this childlike wonder for things? I mean, that's when I see stuff like that. I'm like, this is the neatest thing. I know that kid me, even if I wasn't specifically into like pirates or ships specifically, I couldn't imagine that I wouldn't have thought that that thing wasn't the most awesome thing ever. And I might order one for myself, guys. I mean, they were not expensive at all. That was one of the biggest clinchers to the whole thing. Because the roommate was like, it's like $10. I'm like, I can spare $10. Especially for my boy. He could take it back to his mom and could throw it at her skull. moments like these are what makes life worth living. Really, these are the things that give a flower color. I mean, that's kind of what I hope it is. I'm like, my oldest son does not emotionally connect to physical objects. My youngest one, the one we were just with, he does. He totally connects with physical objects. He likes things. He likes knickknacks. And so it's much easier to buy gifts for him because you find something cool, he's going to love it. My older boy is like, nah, that's kind of fine. Well, then what the hell do you love, son? What do you want? Not getting to have my kids with me full time, I'm constantly worried of like them just like being uninterested in daddy, or my biggest fear is that one day they're going to be like, Mom, I don't want to go over to daddy's house. Daddy's place is boring and he's stupid. I actually legitimately have that fear. Not that they've given me any indication that they'll feel that way. That's all on me.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new home.
But when you have little monsters that you love more than life itself, and you don't get to be around them, and you just wonder about all the little microscopic things that happen on a day-to-day basis that you miss, that you just aren't there for, and you don't get to witness. I try to like make every moment like, I try to spoil them a little bit without going overboard, making them turn into little selfish shits, Well, thanks, Shocula. I mean, honestly, their mom's not... I can't complain about her. I'm actually in an extremely fortunate situation. I'm just kind of pissed off at her at the moment. I actually tried to reach out to her for... I was looking for someone to talk to. I needed someone to talk to, because I was struggling. And she either didn't care or couldn't pick up on my very obvious hints in the text message I sent out. I was looking for somebody just to listen to me for just a minute. She completely, like, didn't say no. She just acted like she didn't hear it. It actually hurt. And it's my fucking ex-wife. I shouldn't care, but... oh well. When you say you feel you're miserable and you're alone and there's no one to talk to, and she's like, oh, well, the boys are fine. You'll be all right. I'm like, oh, okay. Good to know. Lucifer, that doesn't sound like an ex, it sounds like a regular wife. Brickety, I know as a parent there's always fear when it comes to our children in general, but just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's what I kind of tell myself. Like, my boys are good boys, and I'm lucky that way. Well, thanks, Brickety. I hope so. I can only hope. I mean, there's this little part of me that hopes that at some point in the future when they're older, because they're only 10 and almost 13, I kind of hope that there's some point where one of them at least would say, when they're older, maybe when they're out of regular school and something like that, that one of them would at least want to be like, Dad, can I come live with you? So I can just have them with me for a little stretch of time. Even if they're not my little boys anymore, if they're my grown-up boys. But the other side to that is that I will not, like if my oldest boy wanted to come stay with me, but I don't want to separate him from his younger brother, because all they've got is each other, and there's kind of I need them to grow up together. And if that would break little brother's heart to have older brothers suddenly take off and be gone, I actually wouldn't do that. You know, little brother needs older brother around as much as they can. But once they're old enough, I don't know. We'll see. Shakira, whenever your ex-wife breaks up with her whatever current boyfriend, she always comes back and you tell her to F off. Brickety, great thing about you having this channel is that you've created a community, and you know what? That has come up very recently in a way that I'm very grateful for. There's several people that I've met through the channel that I would like to think of as, you know, friends. And it's very meaningful. Yeah, you recognize that soundtrack, Sunshine. Yeah, great movie. Kind of forgotten about. I remember when it came out, I was like, ugh, I love science fiction, but these like one-off science fiction shows that come out are always just such a letdown in a way. But I love the director. I think it's Danny Boyle, and I've loved a lot of the movies he's done. I'm like, just based on the director alone, I'm like, I gotta go see this. And I come out of it like, that was good. It started out kind of cliche, but the whole science fiction-y element to it, I actually was like, oh, this is cool. Then it did turn into like randomly like a slasher flick by the end, which was like, all right. I'd rather they just stayed with the science element exclusively, but it worked. It's a good movie, great soundtrack, absolutely. Oh, Chuck, you're absolutely one of those guys that when I was saying, I've met a couple of people that I would like to think of as legitimate friends. You're absolutely at the bottom of the list. No, I'm totally kidding. No, you're right there at the top, man. That is no doubt. I've got to know Shakula, there's Mark, there's someone saying, there's Dan Goodwin, there's Courtney, Lost Illusion, who doesn't pop in here too much, but she's awesome. Nate from Australia, Jeff from Australia. Who let Chuck in here? I know, Chuck, you have a tendency to be like, I was quietly listening in. Probably always like, let's see if Rob talks shit on me this time. He doesn't think I'm listening. I'll find out what the hell he's actually saying to me. Or about me.
Where you go, they go too. So go get them. Risk breakfast.
Brickety, New Year's, that's the last time you stopped in. You know, now that you mentioned it, I do remember thinking about talking about or discussing how I should set up a Etsy page. But no, I have not even given that a second thought. I'm not saying that like I'm proud of it, but I haven't made any headway into that. But I do need to, or at least something like that. Some kind of place where people can just follow a link and, you know, grab something without trying to like, who are you? Where can I find you? Where should I contact you at? But otherwise, Brickety, I'm just kind of doing the same thing, just drawing and talking and trying to get through shit like everyone else. Somebody else mentioned that, a Whatnot channel. Is that, I mean, it's just, you know, I'd consider anything, but like, kind of a nobody. It's not like I'm Liefeld and I can go on there and sell a gold foil cover comic for $300. You know, is it one of those things that, is it worth it for me? Go live for the launch party of any new comic. Hey, we're gonna give away a special edition of the Dick in the Jar comic. This one, this copy, and this copy only, I actually rubbed up against my own junk. It comes with an authentic Robert Stink. I will wrap it in plastic foil, so when you open it up, the Dick in the Jar comic will actually smell like rancid dick cheese. Sorry, I'm losing followers at that. Now I'm talking, right? Like, see Liefeld do that shit. I need to find some like hot girl who will like take some hot photos of herself, and then like, if you come and buy the comic, you'll get a print of so and so hot girl, you know, and she'll be there on camera with me. We'll try to push some comics with the assistance of hot girl presence. Dude, seriously, Liefeld accidentally cut his finger on Whatnot. Was that the last one? The one he just did for his book? Because I kind of watched some of that. This comic has got actual Liefeld blood. Oh, it was last year. Okay. I mean, why not? And if it becomes like, that was a big seller, so the next time he does, he's there with the knife, stabs and bleeds on the page. Young blood with actual Liefeld blood. Have him squeeze it out onto the pages so it soaks in. That's actually not a bad idea. It's probably against the terms and conditions of Whatnot or some shit, but like, no sir, you cannot stab yourself intentionally on camera. Don't fucking tell me what to goddamn do. I'll open a package on live stream. Uh-oh, I hope one of my bulbs didn't burn out, because these things have been going forever. Oh, there we go. I'm actually surprised. I haven't changed a bulb in this light box in like 10 years. I don't know if I got some magic bulbs or they just naturally grow that long. I don't actually use it a huge amount, so maybe that's part of it. In fact, it might be, now that I think of it, it might be like 20 years since I changed a bulb on this thing. I've actually owned it for like 25, 30 years, some shit like that. No, it's like 25 years, yeah.
Didn't you prove your home and garden with AARP today?
Oh, you said you're reading Secret Wars, but you mentioned Hickman, so this must be some modern version of it. So I don't follow any of that crap. It's kind of unfortunate that, like, I don't know. I was going to say that everything in comics seems to be that gets any kind of traction is like a redo of something that used to exist. Like, we're redoing Secret Wars. But is anybody trying to make new modern storylines that will actually stand the test of time? And I suspect that they are. I just don't think anything clicks anymore the way it used to. So then they just keep going back to, well, our own original story didn't click, so let's do a retread of the Infinity Gauntlet, or Secret Wars, or, you know, Inferno, or whatever the hell. And then there's just nothing new. But is there even an audience for it anymore? Like, kids? I don't think there is. The modern Secret, yeah. Digital Godzilla versus Hulk. Yeah, Hush 2, I mean, when it's the same writer and artist doing a sequel to their own work, for me it's not quite the same as decades later creatives who had nothing to do with the original doing a new story and calling it Secret Wars, even though there's already been a Secret Wars. So I kind of don't have a problem with Hush 2, even though I'm not exactly excited for it. I keep thinking I should get it just for the channel. Godzilla versus Hulk. I seem to remember hearing about that, and honestly, the whole concept just actually sounds kind of fun to me. It has to be ridiculous. Godzilla versus Hulk. But when I think about it, if it's done right, that could be the coolest thing ever. I want to see Hulk punching Godzilla right in the face, but I bet it's going to be the same kind of like they're monsters and there's mistaken identity or some bullshit like that, and then of course they're gonna be fighting each other and then probably like eventually be working together somehow in some capacity, which, you know, kind of like Kong Godzilla, which I actually, full disclosure, I actually went and saw that movie twice in the theater. One, because it was it was actually pretty good, but my boys actually loved it. And when they came over the next weekend, they're like, Dad, that Kong movie was awesome. I'm like, you want to go see it again? They're like, yay, can we? I'm like, all right, let's go see it twice. It's a good thing your daddy loves you this weekend. Some weekends I might not. I nailed it. So yeah, so that was the basic story. Brickety, you read issue 1 of Hush too? I heard someone else say that it wasn't very exciting. I can't remember who said that. Someone was on a live stream and had said that they'd read it, and they're like, I mean, you know, they weren't thrilled. And thus, neither am I. On the flip side, I am looking to find content that would generate more views for my channel, and if Hush 2 might be that thing, maybe I need to pick it up just on, like, I gotta think of it as like a business expense, which I literally need to do. Once I did my taxes, you know, the tax guy was telling me, well, you started a YouTube channel that's monetized, so it's basically starting a business, so next time, bring me an itemized list of shit that you've spent for your channel, for your business, like comics you bought, art supplies you bought. I'm like, oh, well, shit, now that I know this. So, guess it's tax deductible. Do I think the new Superman film will be good enough to start a new universe? I'm not going to answer that in any kind of like definitive way, because there's no way to know until you see it. I've seen movies where the trailer looked atrociously stupid, and then it turned out to kind of be all right, and vice versa. Trailer looked amazing, and you go into it and like, this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen. I would like it to be successful. I like James Gunn. He's never done anything to piss me off. Like, I don't give a shit. And even if he is a dickhead who pissed me off, like, if he makes good work, then that's all I care. That's all I give a shit about. Make good product. And I'd like to think that he's legitimately trying to make a good movie, but whether or not the choices he makes will actually click, especially in this kind of current environment of movies where people do not care anymore about superhero movies, it's getting kind of old and tired. You gotta have something really special. Like, Superman's a hardcore brand name, but that doesn't mean it's gonna work. But I want it to work. Yeah, Shakila, that's what I'm doing now that I know. I'm learning a lot of lessons this year. Because I didn't know when I'm going into taxes that it would be like, I knew I'd have to pay taxes on the ad revenue I got, but I didn't know they were going to tell me, yeah, you started a business, so now we have to fill out this whole other tax form that cost another $120 in fees from the place I go get my taxes done at. I'm like, man, fuck this noise. No, I get you, Brickety. Good idea to do Marvel and DC reviews. That is true. I mean, the things that get the most looks are certainly the known properties. Whenever I throw up a indie book thing, you know, it never gets as much as, you know, Batman or X-Men or... You know what gets the most views? Is a Rob Liefeld video. Every time. And then the next one's kind of like McFarlane, even though the Spider-Man one that went up today actually has kind of been just doing kind of like average-ish. But the biggest views I get most of the time are, like, consistently is Liefeld reviews, whether it's my insane ranting or just his personality that people want to chime into and listen to, whatever the case may be. Big ones to watch out for: Absolute Batman, Hush 2, and Ultimate Spider-Man. So I'm more interested in reviewing the original Ultimate Spider-Man. I thought that one was so great. I enjoyed it every step of the way. I thought Bendis nailed it. Never bored. And him and Mark Bagley doing 100 issues straight, uninterrupted. That's amazing. And then Bagley took off after that, and they handed over to Stuart Immonen. And I love that guy's work. It's kind of a bummer. I'm pretty sure he retired from like the comics industry. But he took over, and I thought that it kept going really good.
A wider smile brightens more than just your teeth. Colgate Acid White's unique hydrogen peroxide technology is engineered to remove deeper stains for a visible difference.
Actually, yeah, boy, Zach, I kind of don't like that fucker. He rubbed me the wrong way once. Plus, anytime anybody uses the word boy, B-O-I, I instantly hate them. Ya boy. Like, stop it. Shut up. With your ya boy. I have no idea what his real name is, but I remember hearing about his name, and he was doing comic reviews. This was several years ago, so I went and like watched one, and he was like ranting about how he was pissed off at the current state of the industry because the artists of that particular book weren't drawing the tits big enough on the female characters. And I was like, this female figure he's looking at is still pretty damn hot. Like, typical kind of hot comic book girl body. Not exaggerated like some of the older shit, like the 90s cheesecake nonsense. But this was still like a hot girl, but she had intentionally small boobs. And he's like, this is bullshit. This is like political correctness or whatever. Girls need to have bigger tits. I'm like, I'm done. Fuck you, dude. This is so stupid. I'm out, and whether I'm overreacting or not, like, that's fine. But I was instantly just put off by the guy. When I read my comics, the girl's gotta have giant titties or I ain't gonna buy it. Yeah, okay. Oh, Chuck. Oh, and his book that I backed kind of sucked. Oh, you was fine with them until they got pro AI. Oh, I didn't know about that. Brickety, something fun to do would be grab a comic you like, recreate a panel that stands out in your own style. Like, how would you have done it? Could be something new people would be interested in. That's an interesting idea. I've kind of thought about that, but I think all it does is set me up to be embarrassed, to be like, here's my dumbass who is not getting any professional work from anybody. I'm going to redraw and tell this artist, not tell him, but what I would do. You know, I think I might be setting myself up for embarrassment and, have people be like, dude, are you getting professional work? Is Marvel paying you? Then, I actually had a creative, artistic, I don't know, fantasy. That's a weird word to say, but of like redrawing an entire Liefeld book. Like, I'm going to redraw X-Force #3. I'm like, no, don't do that, because that's one, that's the good stuff, and two, everyone's just going to make fun of you because it's not going to be as energetic or interesting as his. Just stop. I'm like, well, I'll pick one of his worst ones. I just like, no, never mind. Just forget that whole idea. I'll just do a parody instead, not a redraw or anything like that. But it was something I was like, he makes this terrible shit. Maybe if I redrew it, I could see how it could be done better. But I'm just setting myself up to get hazed online. And honestly, I'm probably not better in terms of all the things I'm not better in terms of all the things he does right. But that's just a for example. Just a dumb idea that I floated in my head for myself for a little while. I'm like, no, just don't do that shit. That's stupid. That's fair, Brickety. That's a good point, but I don't know. It's an interesting idea. It's something I've kind of thought about, but I just want to get through my own books, and I'm trying to make something on my own that people would be hopefully interested in, and taking other people to reproduce this. Do you know who's a crazy talented young son of a bitch? Anybody follow that kid? Was it Joshua Durstein or something like that? Anybody recognize that guy's name? It's like a 18 or 19-year-old kid, I think. He had that inker Livesay inking him on some of his work for a while, and that guy's got some crazy skills. Later, Chuck. Thanks for stopping in, man. D in the jar is what I'm known for. Well, I'm not known for it yet, but maybe I will be. Watch me get a cease and desist from Liefeld. Like it's a parody, you fucking nutsack. How many things have you done like are straight rip-offs of other characters? It's a different name. Where all the artists hold up a jar. Free the D. D in the jar, blue pencil. Right. Soundtrack to something else. Well, I got to get the product out there for people to actually know what it's in reference to. They're like, what the hell is D in the, what the fuck is that? Follow the link to pick up your copy. Man, this comic, I've already had to draw a dude's dick a couple of times. I'm not even close to being done. It's the most dicks I've ever drawn in my life. It's a phrase I never thought I'd ever say for real. Like, what's your comic about? Well, funny story. There was a book. Excuse me. Yeah, thanks, Brickety. I hope so. I mean, I keep getting more and more viewers. You know what's crazy? Like a stat. Like this is when you have a channel, it gives you statistics, channel analytics, and these numbers that come up right here on this, it has views, watch time hours, subscribers, and estimated revenue. This is all only for the last 28 days. And, you know, it's always 28 days, so, you know, it's always adjusting for those 28 days. But right now, in the last 28 days, I've gotten 51 subscribers. At my peak last summer, when I was like live streaming every day, this subscribers in the last 28 days got up to 1,000. Like some fucking how. A big part of it was that Frank Cho video that I did of that art book, because that thing got 127,000 views, and I got like 600. Let me see. Let me find that. Let me filter. Let me sort by most viewed. Oh, geez, it said 129,000 views. And 129,300. And that alone netted me 653 subscribers. It only made me 16 bucks because it's restricted because there's titties in it. But the point that I'm getting at is that I was really popping off for a while when my subscribers in the last 28 days got up to 1,000. It was insane. And this is kind of more normal. It's kind of slowed down, obviously. But the art of Rob Norton. I mean, I put together a sketchbook. I was going to say I can't move a single copy of it. I actually sent one out for free today. Well, for free. Somebody bought something else and I threw it in there. But I also don't promote it on my channel because I just never think of it. Because it's a sketchbook of like naked girls. But when I took it to conventions, I have never sold one copy of it at the comic conventions I've gone to. I have it sitting out there. People flip through it, but this is Utah. They're probably like, "Oh, naked girls. I'm interested, but I can't pretend like I am." Not publicly. But I thought about, I've kind of got a file on my laptop of art I'm putting together of like, if I ever decide to like put together another sketchbook, it won't be like naked girls exclusively, at least. It'll be just various stuff. But I haven't really looked into that in quite a while. I'm just trying to make comics. And I'm hoping that I have the opportunity. I mean, I'll always have the opportunity. I'm going to do a crowdfunder. It'd be nice if it was successful and I made a few bucks and it got people's attention and they want to see more, and then I could kind of, I don't have to be making a living off this. It would be nice, but if I could start making a little money on the side, like a little bit more than the 20 bucks a week I am now, that would be really nice. That's kind of like the first goal I'm trying to knock off on my, you know, what I want from the channel. You found my channel after the kayfabe? Yeah. I've had a couple people say that. A great place to do a video is on Invincible. I really trying to get into Kirkman's series, and literally no one has made a video going through the art overall story. I actually have. A while ago, I did all issues of the Invincible War. That's actually on my channel. I just kind of jumped straight to that. that is something that I keep thinking, like, my plan is at least, at minimum, next time the next season comes out, which I know is like a year away, to jump on the hype when that gets ramped up. But I should do more. I should go bust out some of those issues. I keep thinking of, like, I should try to help capitalize on the popularity of that cartoon and integrate that somehow. But I have done the Invincible War. It was like, I can't remember, 6 or 8 issues. I just kind of flipped through them all and did the entire, like, spoilers. If you're watching the show and you want to know what's coming based on what it looks like they're doing, that being that they're following the storyline exactly, this is what's coming, and it is awesome. You people will, like, you think the shit that they've done so far is epic. Just wait. What's up, Byron? It's a good point, Brickety. I really do need to go out and dig up some of my my other copies. Maybe I should start with, like, that issue where Invincible and his father fought and Omni-Man beats the piss out of him and then takes off after and is crying as he flies off into space. Just kind of a place to start. I mean, I was going to say, I don't know if I should do the entire series, but that being said, I am doing entire series. I'm doing every Wildcats. I'm doing every Cyberforce. I'm not going to do every Savage Dragon, but I'm going to do at least up through issue 75, because that's where the brilliance ended, and then it just kind of never recovered. It's a good point, though, Brickety. You got me thinking. Like, I've thought about it, but I need to give it more serious thought. Like, I need to take it more seriously. You're actually very correct. And Jeffrey's taken off. Yeah, that's a good point, Brickety. You know, look at what's kind of in the popular. You know, I tend to not think like that, and I need to. Try to capitalize on some stuff. If a major publication studio paid me to be the director for a fan comics department, would I be interested? I mean, I guess it would depend on what that entailed, but I would certainly be like, tell me more, you know. Sure, I mean, you know, the devil's in the details, but it's certainly not an immediate no. Well, thanks, Brickety. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. I mean, you know, everyone's got things to do, so yeah, thanks for stopping in, man. It's good to chat you up. Appreciate everything. Rance, what's up? Byron, you're brainstorming a multimedia company, and you can see fan fiction comics as a profitable niche in the comics market. A guy that knows that medium would be someone you'd love to oversee that. I mean, there's always room to converse and talk about it. I wonder how far a person could get away with. I mean, when you say fan comics, or fan fiction, you know, my first thought is that's, you know, people doing works based on other existing properties, and that kind of puts it in the realm of questionable. Like, is it gonna get people ired up? Like, hey, you can't be making material based on our shit. You know, I've actually had kind of a long-standing fear that someone's gonna come along, I'll get an email or something like that, if somebody telling me to fucking stop my He-Man fan comic shit, but I'm so small, no one's paying attention. But I've actually had that fear. I'm like, kinda gotta keep it on the down low. Ooh. Would you like me to adjust the temperature? No. Yeah, right, Byron. Kind of, you know, modify words or imagery. Like, yeah, if people are kind of careful with that, which is what I'm hoping I don't have to worry about doing this dumb thing. Like, I've changed words and characters and names around. It's just got a vague kind of connection to this other published story. So, we'll see. Toby Shades, what's up? Is that a man's dong? Oh, you don't know about this comic, do you? If it helps, it's more of like a mutant alien, half man, half mutant wolf creature thing. So it's not exactly a man. But he does run around undressed. And I'm like, well, just for the shits and giggles of it, he's going to be running around, this dick flopping around because, well, when was the last time you saw that in a comic book? It is part of the whole gag of the thing. I'm a sweet summer child, don't blame me. No, it's, if you haven't kind of been able to kind of keep up with the conversation I've been having about this particular parody comic that I'm doing and what it's based on and why, it would definitely be like, what's that? Why is that? Why am I looking at this? Why are you making me look at artwork? With things like that flopping around. Byron, you need to sell this movie script first and then have a few others before you get serious with your Shex Studios, but I want to see if that's something, I mean, you kind of get the opportunity to get something like that going along. I am always open to, there's always possibilities. As one of my favorite fictional characters would say. Yeah, absolutely, Byron. Yeah, that would be a thing. I'm especially interested in, I'm going to have to start kind of looking at commission work because now that I got ripped off badly last week, I've actually picked up a cover commission. I mean, the details are still being worked out, but I'll be doing that, and then maybe penciling 10 pages, maybe, of a book for a guy, just to make a few bucks on the side. Yeah, that's a financial epidemic. Yeah, when I went to the cops about it, they said, don't feel bad. The officer was like, I know this is small comfort, but he's like, it's happening everywhere. You're not the only one that's been hit with this. You're not, he was trying to make, because I was telling how stupid I felt, but he was like, I get it, but this is happening to all kinds of people. You're not the only one falling for this. Don't, it's small comfort, but think of it that way. Yeah, I know, I get it. It's just, I've never been through anything like that where you come out of something and you felt so violated, personally violated. You know, it's certainly an experience to go through. Yeah, I don't know how they'd go about it. You know, I'd like to think that be some kind of hardcore task force to, you know, go after these clowns. The thing that I can't understand, I've talked about this, is that these people that did this, like, they probably sleep very comfortably at night after knowing that they scammed somebody out of thousands of dollars. Multiple people, you know. How do you go to bed at night with a clear conscience? And the only thing I think about is like, these people don't have consciences. You know, for lack of a better term, these are soulless evil people. Like, I've never been a religious person, and if I say like they're doing the work of the devil, I'm not trying to like, I don't know that I mean that literally, but kind of figuratively and maybe literally. You know, it's like to get multiple people on a phone to talk you out of your money, and with no concern about what a person's financial situation may be, to like actively steal from you and then go to bed at night with a smile on your face. You know, if there's an afterlife and there's a supreme being that's going to look them straight in the fucking eye and be like, I know what you fucking did. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to see or hear or find out. You know, I want to sit in the rafters in the afterlife and just point and be like, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, the amount of scams out there. Yeah, they are losers in every sense of the word. Yeah, 100% right, yeah. And you know, if I was just smarter, I wouldn't have fallen for it, but I don't know what I don't know. I know now. An expensive life lesson, paying my life's dues. There's someone sane. It's good to have someone sane, because we're all a little insane. Sorry, yeah, someone's saying, I got a package off in the mail for you today with that Electra book, or well, it's not the Electra, it's the Sienkiewicz book, and a couple extras. Which I hope you'll enjoy. It's comic stuff. Yeah. Well, I kind of put it out there on the Discord, and not one person responded. And I was kind of surprised, because I was like, like I said on the Discord, like, I'm not looking to make money. If somebody just wants to cover shipping, I'll send it to you. I don't need 2 of these. And no one responded, so I started reaching out to a couple of people to see who might be interested. And Gayton's the first one to give me a definitive, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, it's so good. There's so much good stuff in there. And like I was saying, it was not very expensive on the IDW website. It was like $20 and then $5 for shipping. I paid $25 for it, and then I got 2 of them. So yeah, I wasn't trying to like offload it at a profit by any means. I want somebody to have this. Just especially at the, you know, not to boo-hoo me, but like, I can't really cover shipping, but But it's going to a good home. Or at least it seems like it will be. Yeah, I couldn't pronounce it either. I mean, Seinkowitz? I don't know. Sienkiewicz. That's my understanding. You wanted it right away to balance your nightstand. That's hilarious. Yeah, the inking looks a lot like the style you're playing with. I can see that, someone's saying, Gaten. The stuff you've been posting, I can see that. You're right. Yeah, Byron, Primal Force, that's Shocula's book. That is the man. Shocula, he loved that review. He's biased, though. That's okay. You can be biased. Primal Force was taken. Yeah, Shocula, like, I know I said it, you're humble about it, but you made the book. You put a lot of thought into it. It was, especially after watching your live stream earlier, it was important to you that it was done right and it was done as good as you could possibly make it. You didn't just shit it out, just put it out there not caring how it looked. Like, you put in your heart and soul into it, and it shows. The art reminded you of the animated show Gargoyles. I love that analogy. Gargoyles is amazing. And I could see that 100%. I want an Annie Croakley one-off special, like a a one-off book of Annie Croakley. That would be awesome. I'm just in love with that character, dude. Someone saying was just typing that. Annie, get your gun. I'm listening to music from a Western. Anybody recognize it? Yeah, see, Byron wouldn't mind a shirt with a t-shirt with Annie Croakley. It's the greatest. You know who would do? I don't know. Courtney, it is so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I was about to say, I don't know if Courtney draws or likes to draw animals, but can you imagine Annie Croakley drawn in Courtney's style? It's a cowboy girl frog. She's got like photon 6-shooter pistols. It's so great. Oh. Who's and it's the female cowboy frog in Shakula's book. And I don't know why, but I've just latched onto it because I think it's so. And I'm not saying that ironically. I'm like, I legitimately think it's great. I love it. It's silly but awesome. It's like cute but cool. Yeah, Ms. Courtney, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. One of the regulars of the channel that, you know, hasn't been regular, but that's okay. We understand. Courtney, I've made a decision. I'm actually not going to go to the comic convention next year. I'm not going to be there this time. I'm going to have to pass on it. But I'll be back the following year after that, assuming the world hasn't imploded somehow. Yeah, Annie Croakley. And like I was saying in the review, I kind of just missed the Eradicator for the like robotic suit lizard looking guy, which I thought was hilarious. Courtney, I'm not going for a couple reasons. Originally, last year was such a bust for me. Like, I've never had a year where I made less, and it's a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money spent on the table, on food, on parking, on materials, to come out of it not even breaking even. Even my brother, like, he had hit me up and he told me, he says, I don't think I'm going next year, Rob. It's just too much. You know, he's got a little kid. His wife isn't working anymore, so he's the sole, money maker in his household, and it's hard to kind of justify spending that kind of money if you're not going to make it back. And so I was kind of waffling on it, kind of like, am I not? I was going to, but then I'm not. But then, I don't know if you saw any of my posts where I talked about how I got scammed out of all my money, and that was the clincher right there. Well, now I can't afford to go. I lost all my money, so I can't even afford to buy the table now. So I'm like, I was kind of not gonna go anyway. So I guess this is the universe just validating that. So I might go one day as just like a spectator, but I'm not gonna have a table. And I honestly, one of the things I thought is like, I won't have a place I won't be there so Courtney could store all her shit at my table like before. Yeah, it's like, $400 for a fucking table. But if you can make it back, it makes it worthwhile. But also, on the flip side, having to spend that much money makes it harder to reach that goal. So it's frustrating, to say the least. Yeah, I'll crash into you, Courtney. I'm sure I've got your contact information. I'm almost positive. I kind of actually want to take my kids for the first time. I can't really bring them when I'm, exhibiting there, but I want to take my boys and let them see the cool shit. So I'll definitely be there for one day, just as just to go. So I'll run into you for sure. Shockula, they don't let you do that officially. My brother and I have done that before. We just say it's for my brother, and then I just would sit with them. The problem is you can kind of get away with it. No one, they're not coming up, hey, which one of you actually bought this table? But the table's got limited space, and my brother, he actually has been buying 2 tables to display his stuff massively. And so to squeeze both of us in one table gives us very little room to spread our shit out. It becomes very, confining. So, but yeah, Courtney, because I know you like to save up and dress up, and so, yeah, I'll run into you. I don't think we'll see Jessica. I think she's moving out of state again, so that's kind of a bummer. Makes me sad there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's private exactly. Her husband's got some medical problems. Yeah, she could stream, but yeah, she's moving back to Indiana to be with her family. Her husband's got some medical problems, and they're unsure, and they're moving back to be near her family in case the worst happens. I don't know if I shouldn't be saying that, but it's kind of rough. And I'm kind of sad because my friend lives locally. Jessica, she's one of my favorite people on the planet, and she lives less than an hour away from me. I've still never seen her in years, and now she's going to move across the country, but it's not like I get to see her anyway. But I'm like, at least she was nearby, and there was a possibility I could go meet up with her and have lunch and chit-chat. She's been written out of the show. Yeah, she's kind of gone on silent running a little bit. She's got 4 kids. Well, 5 with her husband's daughter from a previous marriage, and she's going to school, and so, I don't know. I miss her a lot. So, I hope things work out, and I get to just know her from afar. But yeah, I think she said round about August they're probably taking off was the plan, last I heard. Yeah, I know I'm saying this on a live stream, but don't anybody say that to her. I probably shouldn't. I tried to keep it vague, but I vaguely said everything. Yeah, she said that before. Indiana's way cheaper. She said before, because she lived here in Utah, then they moved to Indiana, then they came back to Utah, where they're at, right now. And she was saying in Indiana, they had a 2-story house, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, and it was so much cheaper. It was like a fraction of the price this shit is here in Utah. She's like, she was mad that they were coming back to Utah and giving up this beautiful home that they had. Which I get, but That's where her family is, and that's where they need to go. Just, in case. So, but yeah, it's dumb. I'm like, you can't move away. I'll never see you. But I'm like, I never see you anyway. In the last 6 years, I've seen her for 15 minutes twice. She stopped by my house to drop off a birthday present a couple years ago, and then I saw her at the comic convention last year for like 5 minutes. And that was it. But she's a married woman, so with kids, so I'm like last priority. And that's how it should be. It's okay. Yeah, moving is horrible. I hate it. Yeah, I'm hoping that she'll get her interest back into wanting to do live streams. I'm not pushing on her. I've tried to, respectfully give her space and not be like, hey, you want a live stream? I think she knows that anytime she wants to, I'm like, let's go. But I'm trying to not pester her about it. So, but she's such an integral part of the channel. We were live streaming so often, and I mean, you guys all know her, you long timers. She's like the most charming person. She's sweet and she's funny, and it's kind of hard to not like her. I don't trust anybody that's like, oh, I don't like that girl, she sucks. I'm like, something's wrong with you. So, oh well. Your sister has a $500,000 house with a personal pond that would be worth millions out west. She lives in India, south of Indianapolis. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like the value of a home in one place is that, like, that's a lot. 500,000, like that ain't nothing. But, it's not nothing. You know what I mean? But that same home here, yeah, crazy. Mr. Chisholm. Ms. Courtney, do you know who you're going to be cosplaying at the next convention? Have you even got that far into it? I know it's months away, but I guess it wouldn't really make any difference to me, in as much as I don't know the characters you dress up as anyway, because it's not anything that I'm sure you look exactly like the character. I have no idea who it is. It's all anime stuff that I've never heard of because I don't follow it, but you know what you're doing. Jinx from Arcane. Now that character I kind of know. I haven't seen the show, but I've heard a lot about it. There you go. It's one of those shows I keep thinking that it will add it to the list of shit that I'm like, I should watch that. People recommend it. No matter how many times someone tells me to watch Stranger Things, I'm just not going to do it because I like to agitate them. The show is so good. That's what I've heard. Someone saying your parents are fixing up their home, and my father was telling me he was speaking to someone about their front door. Just the door itself, without installation, was quoted at $6K. Yeah, I used to be like the door sales specialist at Home Depot, and I know how expensive doors can be depending on if it's a standard 6'8" door, or if it's an 8-foot tall door, or if it's got side lights or transoms, decorative glass, if you're buying wood or steel or fiberglass, how thick the frame is. I know that doors can get expensive for sure, and then installation, you know, if you got to get somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. Yeah, it ain't cheap. But what is cheap these days? Kindness? I don't know where that came from. The show is such a love letter to art. Yeah, you know, even the animation style looked good to me. Shakila says you could be as a character that you drew, make cardboard bat wings. There you go. You know, you do that cosplay right, and people might be like, that cosplay's amazing. Who are you? And you're like, oh, it's this very special indie character. No one else is cosplaying this one but me. That would actually be awesome. For that kind of money, you better come off the hinges, transform into a huge robot, and take care of thieves. Yeah. You know what's crazy is who wants to talk about home improvement shit? But I want to. Yeah, I get people come in and they want to buy a wood door, like a solid wood door, and I'm like, all right, but I got to talk to you honestly about what you're getting into. Because one, they're not as energy efficient as steel or fiberglass. Two, they are not warranted for any longer than a year from the vendor. So if the wood starts cracking, splitting, peeling, after a year, you're out of luck. It doesn't matter what happens. Whereas the other door vendors would warranty their doors for years. And two, if you want that natural wood look, you have to refinish that door once a year for the rest of your life to maintain it. And you're still not getting the energy efficiency out of that fucking wood door. The only thing that wood has is that beautiful look, that natural kind of look. Beyond that, you're going to pay premium money and commit yourself to a lot of work every year that you may not want to do. So I will take your money whichever way you want. But, you know, consider the options carefully. Ed 209 from RoboCop, hell yeah. Shock, you know, the mortgage company is holding $9K of your insurance money, forcing you to replace your wooden privacy fence. It's bullshit. Ugh. Isn't home improvement and home ownership just magical, especially when you have to deal with insurance companies due to, what did you have, tornado damage? Isn't that what you went through, Shakula? That shit terrifies me. Like tornadoes? Like, suck my left nut. I ain't dealing with no tornado. Well, guess what? If it's coming your way, you're dealing with it. Montoya, what's going on? Yeah, Shockula, $58,000 in damage. Holy shit. Someone's saying, all this is teaching me is one thing. Dig a hole and live in that. I mean, that's why I'm living, well, it's not why, but it's a good, one of the reasons I'm living in a mobile home, because it was cheap. And I couldn't afford anything else, but it's mine. I own it. I own the title to it. You know, I was able to buy it outright when I got divorced, so. But it is not, it's nice having a place that you're like, this is mine. I own this, and as long as I can pay my lot rent, I own it. No one can take it from me, but then suddenly the roof's leaking, and you're like, fuck. Now what? I'd dig a hole and live in it if it was like a hobbit hole. That fucking house that Frodo had looked amazing. But like, there's a hole in the ground and in it lived a hobbit, but this wasn't any hole. I'm like, oh my god, I want this hobbit hole. I want that house. Dig a hole in the side of the dirt and build it like that. D Black, I live with the crazy cat lady, but it's cool because we're in love. Yeah, I guess you better be okay with it, because kind of doesn't matter, right? At that point. Shocking, you cussed out three of the mortgage company reps on the phone in the last few months. It was nasty. You're like, give me my goddamn money. Yeah. I would think so. I have this deep-seated fear that something's just going to fall apart on my house here because it's 40 years old, and I'm like, something's just going to fall apart, and it's going to be this unholy nightmare mess, and I'm going to just hate life. But I did buy homeowners insurance. I got that going. But still. Not the time to give up. I got Schwarzenegger trying to sell me a couch on YouTube.
Am I right? Of course I'm right. You can do this. What? Maybe not this. But you get the idea, right? Don't be a couch potato. Find a doctor.
Don't be a couch potato. You know what's a silly thing about Schwarzenegger that I've kind of noticed, and I don't know, is that his voice has stayed exactly the same no matter how much he's aged. Some people, as they get older, their voice doesn't sound the same at all. But he still sounds like, to me, old Schwarzenegger still sounds like young Schwarzenegger. I know that's irrelevant, like who fucking cares, but these are Rob-servations by me, Rob. Yeah, Shockula, I didn't care for that. That certainly tarnished my interest in him. Screw your freedoms. Alright, thanks. Yeah. That's not how that works. Yeah, Jeff Loeb wrote Commando. Yeah, his primary, you know, job for a long time was like a screenwriter in Hollywood. He wrote Commando. There's a couple other things. Yeah, he's like a guy in Hollywood and who obviously loves comics. And I haven't loved everything he's done, but that's honestly any creator I've ever. There's no creator out there that I'm like everything they've done is genius in terms of like I guess story. There's some artists who's like I kind of like everything they do, but even that's iffy. Like Silvestri's my favorite artist, Adam Hughes. And there's parts of them where I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that thing. So let off some steam, Bennett. It's really weird how Schwarzenegger worked. He's not the worst actor, but he's not the best. But it's all about that charisma that he's got. He's got charisma for days. And that look, that muscular appearance, I mean, it works for him. I dig it. Yeah, I miss good Schwarzenegger movies. You know, everyone ages out, like I get it, but you know, first Terminator, second Terminator. I honestly like both Conan movies for different ways, different reasons. True Lies is great. I love it. You know, he actually like True Lies is a movie that made me go, Schwarzenegger can actually act. He's not just a guy spouting tough guy lines. Like he played comedy, he played serious, he played a father, you know, like he kind of did it all in that one. And he felt believable. What else? What's the greatest hits of Schwarzenegger? Thanks, Mark. Thanks for stopping in, brother. I didn't know about that. Somebody threw eggs on me. He's like, you owe me bacon with that. That's actually funny. That's, you know, why not? Just, you know, be sense of humor. He played Hercules? When was that? Hercules in New York? Early, holy shit. I don't know if I know about that one. End of Days. You know, there are a couple of times you could tell they were like really trying to recapture that Schwarzenegger action movie shit. And it's like the magic was gone. Just none of it was, this is not the same anymore. You know, there was that End of Days. Boy, was playing Mr. Freeze a mistake. And that's one of those things where you kind of go, he must have just been looking for a paycheck. Because how can you look at the script and go, this looks like a good movie? I like to make movies, and this is a good movie. I want my audience to have a good movie-going experience, and I only choose the best scripts. And playing Mr. Freeze is a good idea. Like, what a pile of shit that was. He should have been like, can I have one line that's not a silly ice pun, please? I don't think the audience is going to go for it. They're like, no. It's ice puns or nothing. Eraser. I remember Eraser, and I saw it the one time, and I was like, it's alright, but I never revisited it. The Sixth Day, I kind of remember that one. That's another one. It was like, it's alright, but, you know, I can watch Terminator 2 1,000 times. I've probably seen it 1,000 times, and I hope to be able to watch it 1,000 more times before I die, and I'll never get sick of it. It's just one of those movies. It's like, perfect in every way. This is James Cameron showing everyone how to fucking make movies.
Bauer makes it easy to keep your vehicle in top condition with a growing lineup of...
It's a shame he got lost on Thundercat Smurf Island. Stupid. Running Man. Predator. Oh my god, how could I miss that one? Yeah, absolutely. Predator. I heard that he wanted to come back to Predator 2, but he couldn't because he was filming T2. And that's kind of a bummer. But to be fair, I think that Predator 2 actually kind of stands up just fine. Danny Glover is no Schwarzenegger, but who is? Get too over this shit. Running Man. That's actually one I've never seen. Junior, I saw that. Yeah, Predator and Aliens. Any of those, I'll watch those anytime. Predator 2. I think I've talked about this before. Predator 2 is an example of a movie where I'm like, the first Predator is the better movie, talking just cinema. But in terms of all the Predator movies, including the first one, I think Predator 2 is the best Predator movie. Does that make any sense? Like, I think your average kind of film goer who's not into like monsters specifically or aliens specifically can watch the first Predator movie and have a good movie going experience. It's got kind of mass audience appeal, but Predator 2 is, to me, by far the best Predator movie. It captures the essence of those creatures perfectly, better than any of them. That's just my opinion. You know what? Kindergarten Cop. I actually love that movie. No shame to say that. I actually think Kindergarten Cop is great. Boys have a penis. Girls have a vagina. The lady's like, well, I see you're teaching him the important stuff. Total Recall. Yeah, how did I forget that one? What a psycho, weird, crazy movie. Love Total Recall. Absolutely. Twins. Love Twins. There's another one where it's like he's playing comedy and like I believe the character. I believe the sense of humor. Like he's not solely an action guy. Twins is great. I love Twins. That's another one I'll watch anytime. Him and stupid what's his name? The penguin actor? The fucking little short fat guy. Schwarzenegger and DeVito. God damn. Thank you. Shocky, you thought his acting was kind of bad in Total Recall? You know, but the whole movie is ridiculous. It's over the top. It's like hyper weird reality, and in a way it just worked. There's something that's like this, something that just works, in my opinion, in Total Recall that only Verhoeven could pull off. And Schwarzenegger is kind of odd in it, but the whole movie's odd. So it kind of works. Someone saying, you just noticed that first panel? Yeah, his shit's out there flopping around. I ain't, you know. This is why our hero, who's missing his own, is going to be pissed, like even more. He's getting his ass beat by this guy with this giant wolf dork hanging out. And he's like, God damn it. You got this giant hog and I got nothing. That's why our dickless hero is going to cut it off and take it with him like a trophy. Wear it around his neck like an amulet. Conan. Yeah, I was saying a little bit earlier that I like both Conan movies. They're both, like, the first one feel like very serious. Felt very, like, accurate to what the Robert E. Howard kind of vibe should be. And the second one's kind of like, this is ridiculous, but it still kind of worked in its own way. And that remake of Total Recall didn't work, but I will always, you put Kate Beckinsale and Jessica Biel in the same movie, yeah, I'm showing up. Because we're talking about like the hottest brunettes on the planet. And I'm like, all right, you got my money. I know this is not going to be as good as the original. I know. There's no way it could be. No way. But Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Biel, all right. You said the magic words. Summer's Catch. I think that might be the first place. No, it's not the first place I ever saw her. The first place I ever heard about her, they're like, everyone is freaking out about actress from Seventh Heaven does risque photo shoot. And I'm like, oh, let me see this. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's pretty. But then that Summer Catch, you talking about the scene where she is like diving in the pool, and the dude, Freddie Prinze Jr. was watching her. I gotta say, that might be the most perfect female figure I've ever seen in my life. Like, just, that is my God in heaven. That was peak woman. I'm not saying, I hope Courtney's not here thinking we're all a bunch of disgusting pigs, or me anyway. She's probably like, why am I friends with these people? But yeah. Montoya, yeah, you know exactly. It's Young Guns 2. Yeah, someone saying, yeah, it was a scene. I was like, holy Lord. A woman can look like that? I am forming thoughts. And you know what? She's kind of stayed beautiful. I mean, she's in her like early 40s now or something, right? She's still beautiful. She was buff badass in that Blade Trinity. That was not a great movie. I don't think Blade Trinity was the train wreck everyone wanted to make it out to be. In fact, I like it better than part 2. Everyone loves Del Toro, but I was like, I didn't care for 2 that much. I actually liked 3 better than 2, but I'm in the minority, I know. But yeah, Montoya, you're 100% right on the score. It's I almost said Youngblood. Young Guns 2, one of my favorite westerns. I just watched Tombstone again recently because of Val Kilmer passing. What a great movie. I can't speak on westerns. I've seen very few, but holy shit. Val Kilmer, he's so good. Everyone was flawless in that movie. You know what? Randomly, talking about Tombstone, I started getting on YouTube and watching some of the behind the scenes, and I found out that the actor who played Ike Clanton, you remember the bad guy that's the chicken shit, like the douchebag coward that threatens everybody, but the instant he's on his own, got a gun in his face, he turned into a crying little bitch, and everyone couldn't stand him. He's the same actor as the main villain in Avatar. What's the name? Quaritch? That big buff guy with like the scar on his face and the muscles. It's the same dude. Yeah, Stephen Lang. I had no idea. I saw that name in the like I said, I was watching some behind the scenes shit. I'm like, it doesn't look or sound like him at all. It's still hard to see. But again, Tombstone was forever ago, so he was a lot younger man. It looked like he was, I don't know, Stephen Lang, he's in great shape these days. I don't know if he was then, he just padded up. Yeah, and I actually felt that they should have gone with him for Cable. I was like, oh, that's perfect. That guy, he's old and muscular, and there's a role he played who's got a scar on his face. I thought Josh Brolin was fine. I have no problem with Brolin's portrayal. It's the direction of the movie didn't portray the best version of Cable. It was okay. It was pretty good considering the shit it could have been. But yeah, that was wild. I'm like, that's that actor from Avatar. Holy crap. Tombstone, great show. Like, I got done watching it, and the next day I was like, I want to watch it again. Like, I'm ready to watch it a second time. Young Guns 1 and 2 and Tombstone are some of the best modern westerns. I'm a huge fan of Young Guns 2. I'm kind of a little softer on the first one. Like, if you like the second Young Guns, it's certainly like you got to see the first one, but the first Young Guns isn't something I want to revisit too often, but the second one is one of those where I'm like, I will watch that anywhere, anytime. Yeah, Lang is a chameleon. Powers Booth as Curly Bill. And I keep going back to like Michael Biehn as what the fuck was his character's name? Johnny Ringo. Yeah. The way he portrayed him, like he looked like this tortured guy who knew he was going to hell and he was afraid of it, but then he didn't care. He'd shoot a holy man in the head. I guess at that point, why not? I'm like, I never paid attention too much to Johnny Ringo, but like, goddamn, everyone just did it so perfectly. Everyone's such a great villain or a great hero. Every actor was like on top of their game. I'm kind of soft on the actress that played what's her name. Like, she was fine, but she kind of doesn't stand out in the way that all the other characters did. Yeah. 310 to Yuma. Yeah, that's another one I haven't seen. Hell, I haven't even seen any of the Clint Eastwood ones. Like, what is it, A Fistful of Dollars and whatever the hell. I've actually never seen any of those, and I need to. Like, I'm kind of like, I need to get into westerns. I kind of like the idea. I just need to sit down and watch them. Dana Delaney, yeah. You used to live in the birthplace of the real Johnny Ringo. I read that there was some people who were kind of pissed off at the portrayal of him as like a bad guy and how he died. Like, no one knows. He didn't die in a shootout with Doc Holliday. And when you look at the real story, there's a lot of it that was not true. Like, they made the actual OK Corral fight as accurate as they could with the amount of bullets fired and who died and when and what was said and how it was said. But the details of the rest of it are stretched. But that's okay. It's kind of like Braveheart. Very fictionalized, but man, did they make a really, really good movie. One of my most interesting things to research was to hear the translation and the meaning of the Latin that they spoke in that scene between Holiday and Ringo. You know, and I only saw that like 2 or 3 years ago, where I watched a video where they translated in vino veritas, in wine there's truth, meaning when I'm intoxicated I'll speak my mind. Then he says, what, age qui ages, or something like that, like do what you do best. And if I remember correctly, in the actual theatrical release, they didn't translate what they were actually saying, so we had no fucking idea unless you spoke Latin. So that was another fun thing to learn. Apparently Johnny Ringo's an educated man. Now I really hate him. Yeah, History Buffs, that's a good channel to watch. They cover so much stuff that makes you like, oh, okay, that's good to know. I saw the Kevin Costner movie one time, and after having seen Tombstone first, I'm like, they were trying, but it's not the same. It is not as good. I'm sorry, guys. You know, if it's one of those situations where both movies were suddenly in production at the same time, and you're like, well, fuck, they're already making one. I guess you just keep going through with it, and maybe Costner was confident on his credentials for making a Western from, like, Dances with Wolves, but, yeah, they ate shit on that one. Silverado's another good one. Another one I haven't seen. High Plains Drifter, Rio Bravo is your all-time favorite Western. Yeah, something I've never heard of, but like I've said, I haven't ever followed Westerns really, so why would I know? You know what, Montoya? Shanghai Noon is one of my favorite movies. I list that as like, I was talking about that somewhere, and I'm not joking. I'm like, in a way, it's kind of like, I don't know how else to say it, like, I felt like it's a perfect movie, in as much as it's got the right balance of humor and action and different settings. You got heroes you like, you root for, there's drama, there's a bad guy, there's a love story. When the action is on, the action's great. When the drama's on, the drama's great. When the comedy is on, the comedy is great. It's so good. Like, no bullshitting. I love Shanghai Noon. Like, you start out with, you're in, like, the ancient old city or whatever the fuck it is in China, and so you're getting, like, Chinese culture. And then it kicks over suddenly to we're in a Western, we're in America, and the country music starts up. Jackie Chan is in peak form of, like, humor and charm and ability. I was really excited for the sequel, and it couldn't have been a dumber sequel if they tried. Yeah, one of Jackie's best American flicks. Absolutely. I love Shanghai Noon. I mean, there was humor everywhere. Like when they kind of run across the Native Americans, and they just bypass the whole like reality of like, you know, the shit that happens, like the horribleness of the world. The natives are just trying to like get him to shut up, and they feed him a peace pipe, and then he wakes up in the tent the next morning, and he kind of pans his view across the wall of the tent. There's like cartoony horses drawing, and one of them was like mounting the other. I was like, what the fuck? Why is that there? I laughed so hard. I love that movie. I tried to get my kids to watch it, and they couldn't have cared less. I'm like, you know what, kids, fuck you. Whoever raised you is a piece of shit. I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, that's... Okay, anyway. Shanghai Noon, brilliant. Shanghai Nights, absolute garbage. The biggest problem in the sequel is that Roy, Owen Wilson, his character may have been kind of dumb and a terrible shot, but he was not an incompetent idiot. He was actually clever. He was not a worthless dumbass. And in Shanghai Nights, he was a completely stupid dumbass. And I'm like, you just ruined his character. You guys are stupid. Like I'm just going to keep going on about Shanghai Noon. That scene where Chonwin, or John Wayne as everyone keeps calling him, where he gets kind of off the train and he runs into the Native American kid, and the kid's being chased by a couple other like a rival, you know, Native nation, whoever I don't know if they were Mohawk or whatever, but he has to fight those guys. Like the action scenes, like the guys riding the horses, like they did this awesome scene where they're riding full tilt through a river onto land, and then the native guys, they like flip their legs off the horse, hit the ground, running full tilt, never breaking stride, and they take axes and throw them. Like it was a great action scene. It's so good. And then the humor when Jackie Chan like dodges the axes and they hit the tree behind him, so that he picks up both of them and he throws them back at the native guys, and they just catch him and just keep coming at him. It's God, I want to watch it now. I've actually never seen Maverick. I know everyone loves it. It's something I missed, you know. I just never crossed my path in a way that made me want to sit down and watch it, but I've heard it's great, of course. Oh, shit. Alright, well, I'm taking this page as far as I'm going to go right now. I got, I don't know, 85% done. Let's get rid of the light box and see what I did. I haven't drawn in the borders, so there's supposed to be a border dividing, you know, these here, and there's 3 different panels down here, yeah, Goggles Dude is getting his ass kicked, but that's part of the... I gotta knock him out of commission so the other guy can take him on. So, yeah, I have him manifesting his gun here and shoots at him as the guy just kind of dodges by it and shatters the guy's gun. And in this panel, with a swipe, he kind of cuts his shoulder pads and his backpack of weapons off. So that's what happens there. And then the guy, you know, the hero guy slumps on the ground as the dickless villain, well, he's not dickless, but he will be, talks some shit on him, evil grin, gives him a solid uppercut to the face. And then this is when the other guy kind of is picking his ass up, because previously, where is that page? Let me find the previous page, just for continuity's sake. Got the girls with the dick in a jar, we all know about that. And the page where the girls are doing unspeakable things to the dick themselves. These pages in order. All out of it. There we go. Alright. Anyway, bad guy comes out of the portal, shows up, tough, awesome, and socks the one guy. This was a page I had a lot of fun drawing. I actually can't wait for Chuck to ink this one. Like, I kind of want to ink it, but I know that I won't make it look as good as what he will. I'm just kind of excited, but this is where he socks him. And then that leads into this page, because I haven't finished, but in the background, the guy here who got punched hard, he's like landing upside down in the trees in the distance. And that's why this guy here, he's like, oh shit. So then he, manifests the gun, shoots at him. The guy dodges, blows up his gun, cuts his gear off. And then we end up here where the guy who got punched, he's picking himself up. Chuck Lee, hey, how's it going? How long have I been drawing? Seriously, any books to recommend or practice to get better? You say I draw, but Jesus, you got better quickly in I'm doing something wrong, I think you meant to say. I've been drawing since I was a teenager, which is kind of late. I've talked about this often. I'm sure everyone's sick of me hearing about it, or hearing me talk about it, but, I didn't draw until kind of later in life, comparatively. I was an early teenager when I started drawing, and I'm 48 now, so I've been doing it for a while. But, I ain't getting paid professionally for nothing, so, it's not like I'm doing anything right. Although I did hear somebody say that if you create art and you get paid for it, that technically makes you professional. Is that true in everyone else's mind? Because in that respect, I guess I can list myself as a professional artist. I've been paid more than once. I've been paid several times, actually. It's just kind of hard for me to I'm a professional artist. But I heard that from a musician who's absolutely a professional. It's from Bedrosian. You guys know him, keyboardist for Funkadelic. He wasn't saying it to me. I was watching a video where he was saying it to another guy, and he's like, if you get paid for your creative works, you are a professional artist. And I was like, oh, yeah, someone's saying that's what they say, but who are they? I know that's kind of where I'm at usually. But this is from a guy who's a professional musician for decades. And his opinion carries more weight with me than my mom. She's like, you're a professional artist, son. I'm like, thanks, Mom. She's like, don't you believe me? I'm like, no, Mom, shut up. What? I'm just kidding. I never said that to my mom. D Black, yeah, it makes sense. You are also an entertainer, I guess, right? Makes sense to me, though. Yeah, I just have a hard time, trying to tell anybody I'm a professional artist, because I feel like such a poser. Hey. But I've been paid here and there, off and on, more than once, so whatever, who cares? Who fucking cares? Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of happy with this page so far. Once I rule in the borders and finish it up, and we're getting into the Montoya, you getting paid equals pro. I'm not getting paid regularly, but I've been paid several times over the years, so I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I'm getting into the part where I'm hoping that my comedic intent for this is actually going to work, because for those of you this guy, he's the one who's had his part chopped off, and if you know the story, get in the pages. We got the girls, specifically the one who stole his part. She's got it in a jar. She's presenting it as a gift to this other girl. And here they go. And so they literally pull it out of the jar. And then, in this panel, she's slapping it around like, this is gross. And then you all know what happens. But they're going to start doing things to it. And the whole gag is that our hero here, he's going to start fighting the monster guy. But he's going to be sensing what they're doing to it in the middle of the fight, and it's going to throw everything off, and it's going to be awkward for even the bad guy. He's going to be like, what the fuck, why are you acting this way? So the bad guy's actually gonna like sit on a tree trunk and just wait while he just sits over in a corner, like reeling and feeling until it's done. And that's gonna be kind of like the Princess Bride, when the Man in Black and Inigo Montoya were sitting together, and they're just kind of like sitting and have a conversation. They're gonna be like, "All right, you're done. You ready then? Can we fight now?" Anyway, hopefully it'll all make sense when I get done. But that's the kind of like gag here. He's gonna be trying to take on the monster guy, but the girls are doing messed up shit. Anyway, it's stupid, but I've committed myself to the stupidity, so off we go. No backing out now. Anyway, guys, I'm going to bag it. I've been going for 2.5 hours? Jesus. But time flies when you're having fun, I guess, right? So that's it for now. I mean, I don't know. I might even get back on later on today. Maybe tonight, late, after my kids go to bed. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to wrap it up. So, thank you, everybody. Phantom Limb. Right, Montoya? That's what's happening. That's what I'm doing. Maybe that's the name of the comic. Phantom Limb or Phantom something. Anyway, we'll think about it. Anyway, thanks, guys. D, Man, D, Black, Montoya, someone saying, anyone else who's around. Catch you later.